only does it about once a week. But why does it come down to the ground to do it? And why does it nearly always choose to do so in exactly the same place? Whatever the reason, it must be very important, for a sloth on the ground is almost helpless. Any predator could attack it, and it doesn't have the speed to escape. Why it comes down in this way is a mystery.
Welcome. We're back charting pretty volatile day in the market for both stocks and crypto. Before we even get into anything else, futures are running right now. I'm just looking at the S&P futures, as you guys can see, up almost 1%, which, for a stock index is really good. And after, what was a pretty rough open across the market today in the stock market, it was definitely nice to see the futures bouncing. And after I go through just the stock market, I'm going to go to Bitcoin, then I'm going to go to Fisker, then we're going to run through the chat requests and stuff. But yeah, futures are currently running. They're still rallying pretty much at the session highs. If we go to the S&P 500, if you guys remember last week, I was warning about it on stream, saying a day like this could happen. And what you pretty much had was you got right next to all-time highs, which is what I was talking about. And the last times you got to an all-time high, you had a red day after it, right? So over here and over here. So then you were right next to it today, and then you had a pretty rough open, but you went and back tested 3588 on the S&P, which I also said on my Twitter not to panic sell, and that for at least the short term, this could be a very good bounce area. Literally posted this on Twitter, and 3588 was the first new all-time high we created after the COVID crash. So that's why I was really looking at 3588, and then give or take a couple percent, I created like this bounce area. I went right to the top of the bounce area. People wanted to start buying, and it's you bounce towards the end of the day, and now the futures are following through. Currently at the highest point of the night for futures, 36.54 and 25 cents. So a good sign for tomorrow, but obviously keep on looking at them overnight. Things can obviously change. But yeah, that's futures. If we take a look at Bitcoin, 2% away from all-time highs. If you guys have been following me on Twitter for a while now, I put out a buy call for Bitcoin when it was 10,800. Put out a buy call then, and since that point, it is up probably over 80%. I'm gonna have to extend this line actually. Currently it's up 82% since I put out that buy call, and it's just right under the all-time highs. On a few exchanges it did break the all-time highs, but it's just the Coinbase chart, and it was like $20 away or something. But yeah, that's Bitcoin. I don't know, man. It's just really right next to all-time highs. Either it breaks it soon, hopefully, either it consolidates or it falls here. There's really no way to know. So just react to whatever does happen, you know, manage your risk and stuff like that. But that's Bitcoin, and then we're gonna move on to Fisker. But before I get started with Fisker, and then I'll run through, you know, all the chat requests and stuff like that. Shout out to the 43 people already here. Thank you guys for all of the support. Hopefully my warnings helped today. And then I also, not only on Fisker, but also on PIC, I showed the areas where they could bounce. I put out a tweet and they pretty much bounced right after the tweets I put out. They were just previous resistances and you were back testing them as support, which on both Fisker and PIC I've been talking about since last week. And you got both of those back tests today, which pretty much confirms that the previous resistance is now our support. 1, 2, 3 times on Fisker, it couldn't break 1821. When it finally broke 1821, it pretty much went right to $24, which I also, you know, said could happen. And then obviously it pulled back, and now 1821 is your new major support. You do not want to fall under 1821, and as long as 1821 is held, it's fine. But do take caution that if we don't get a good open tomorrow, like if we don't have a good first 4-hour candle, as you can see, the price is going up, but the MACD is going down, which equals classic bearish divergence. It is not confirmed yet, but if there's not a good, you know, bounce tomorrow off of this local support of 1931, things could get interesting. You could backtest 1821, 1750, but that's only if we don't get the bounce off the rip. And we do see the futures are up, and it already was a bad day today, down 6% and even more at one point. So I'm not trying to say that it's going to have a bad day. The only thing that is currently bearish on the chart is the potential classic bearish divergence. Everything else looks completely fine. Very good that it closed this 4-hour candle and the next one over 1931. And if I zoom into the 1 hour, you can see how much of a support 1931 is. You have 1 bounce, 2 bounce, 3 bounces, 4 bounces, and now 5 bounces off of 1931. You did wick under it today just to backtest 1821, and you ended up closing over with like a crazy hammer candle. So pretty good in terms of just the candles and getting back above the support. But do keep in mind that you need a strong open tomorrow, otherwise there's a very real potential of classic bearish divergence. Yeah, that's the stock market. That is Bitcoin. That is Fisker. Wanted to just go over those off the rip before we even talk about anything else. Already have 50 people in here. Now I'm gonna look at the chat, see what's up with you guys. And for the 50 people already here, make sure to hit that like button. We got 18 likes. Let's get to 30 likes. That means 32 of you have not hit that like button. So if you support the free analysis and everything I'm trying to do with this whole entire free trading movement, make sure to hit that like button. Let's try to get to 30 likes. The viewership has been crazy. Yesterday we hit 80 concurrent viewers. At one point broke the record. So, you know, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much. And also, if you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. You know, it just helps support the stream, helps to grow the channel. And whenever you do subscribe, your name will pop up on the screen with a Wolf of Wall Street GIF. And then finally, if you do want to send me a tip, it is the pinned comment in the chat and the first link in the description. So there's your stream intro, going over how to support the channel if you support what I'm doing, going over futures, the stock market today, Bitcoin and Fisker. So that gets, you know, the big macro things covered, at least for, you know, the stock market and crypto. So let's look over in the chat. What's up, 4K? And he is right. If you don't have notifications on, you're missing out on free analysis. So turn on those notifications when you do subscribe to know exactly when I'm going live. I don't know if we have a mod in the chat today, but Denny, we don't really want you spamming stuff in the chat. Just want to make that clear. So yeah, please don't be spamming takers just because they can't get to what everybody else is saying. Hope you understand. I'm gonna have to time me out for 300 seconds. Just please don't do it again. I'll try to look at JMIA. What's up, Narissa, Eric, Oliver, or Olivier, Emmanuel, Print, David, Nicholas, everybody, thank you for showing up. Sure, let's get into some chat requests. If you are new to the stream and you really want me to look at something right away, any donation $3 or higher, I'll like immediately look at that ticker just as like a thank you for supporting me. But yeah, let's get into a bunch of different things. And again, if you really want to know more about Bitcoin, it is in the title of the stream. Check out Mitch Ray on YouTube. He's pretty much where I learned all of this from, and he definitely has the best Bitcoin analysis, so shout out to him. And if you want to learn how to trade yourself and use technical analysis, my free course is in the description. So what we got in the chat, gonna look at, the tickers being requested. Thank you for 30 likes. Sure, we could start off with the Tattooed Chef. See what's up with that. I'm just currently going through the chat to see what people want to look at. We could definitely take a look at Vroom. That fell under support, warned about in the morning. FEAC I want to go over. Had a great day today. So yeah, we'll do TTCF, then Vroom, and then FEAC. So starting off with Tattooed Chef. I've been warning about this. You need to get back over, let me go to the daily. It needs to get back over $16. That's the resistance. And today, with the market pulling back, obviously did not break that. And technically, you closed under the 200-day moving average, which has been your support for multiple days. So I don't know what it went to after hours, but definitely be careful. Your support literally was the 200-day moving average. If it cannot get back above the 200-day, the next support I really do see is 1357, and there's like a little gap to fill at 1480. So if you really cannot rally at open tomorrow, you're probably going to be headed back down to like upper 13, lower 14 range. Do keep that in mind on Tattooed Chef. But yeah, those are levels to look at. Cannot talk about the upper levels until you break back above $16. Then we're going to go over Vroom. Warned about it in the morning, and it's interesting for sure. You had the classic bullish divergence on the daily, but now the MACD is starting to wane, and then on the 4-hour, also you had the classic bullish divergence, but the MACD is moving back down. And what I really did not like about what Vroom did today was, as you can see, it flipped the previous $37 resistance into support. But then today with the rest of the market, it did fall under that and confirm not one but two candles under that, also fell under the VWAP. So I don't know, it's definitely interesting, not doing what I wanted it to do, obviously. Even though it did have like a 7% run when I first posted it, like literally an hour after I posted it, it ran that same exact day. Since then, it really hasn't done too much. And if we go to the daily, this is why it still kind of is fine if you want to hold it long term. Personally, if I do play it long term, I'm going to wait for a re-entry. Then I'm completely fine with re-entering. I just, I don't like how it stayed under $37. But yeah, technically it did not fall back in the channel. It actually back tested the breakout. So as you can see, it ran up and now it back tested. So if you get a few days of consolidation right here and it starts really trying to get back above 36.76, then it definitely might be back on track. So yeah, you just need demand to come in. If I do see that, if it does look like it's strong and the MACD starts going back up, definitely will reconsider it. But for the time being, personally, I'm out. That was just a personal decision. You have to make your own decisions on your risk tolerance, but obviously looked at other plays. What is up, Miller? Appreciate the $5. Yeah, we can take a look at Plug for sure. Again, for the people joining, if you want me to look at something immediately, any tip $3 or higher, I will look at it right away, just as a thank you. But this is Plug Power. I believe they're like an electric vehicle charging station company. That might be wrong, so fact check me on that. I think I was watching a video about it. But yeah, if you look at Plug and you use Fibonacci, as you can see, it is showing resistance at the 2.618. This, Fib extensions are what I use to predict where Fubo was going to go, where Palantir was going to go, and where Snapchat was going to go, and Neo, a whole bunch of things. And same thing's happening with Plug. Broke the 1618, back tested the 1618, and then ran right up to the 2618. So super simple. Your new support would be pretty much like 2188. on plug. As you can see, that was the high from November 9th and it was the low from November 17th. So you do have some price correlation at that level. And I don't really see any major gaps to fill or anything like that in the near term. Obviously there is gaps, but much lower. So this could have been breakaway gaps. But yeah, your support is like 2188, which unfortunately is pretty far away. And that's just what happens when you have a crazy run like how plug did. And if your resistance is pretty much, 2759 into 2618, but obviously you still need to get over the previous all-time high at like 2866. If you can break that, you just look at the next fib line, which is 32. So those are your levels on plug. There is no pattern. It's just like a parabolic curve. There's no divergence. So not too much of an edge, but you do have a very clear support and resistance level. And that is plug. Then we're going to go look at FEAC, and it broke out of this sideways pattern. Again, I'm not saying I called the run today or anything like that. All I did say was it's in this channel, and whichever way it breaks out to, you would pretty much see price continuation to that side. So actually yesterday I did not like how it hit the top of the pattern and then it fell back down. I didn't like that, if I'm being quite honest, just because the first two times it did that, it went back down to $10.70. But today, you did see it start curving back upwards and it broke out. And it did, if you looked at it right when it broke out, it was very obvious that you could be headed for higher prices. You got the candle confirmation over it, which is very good. And now FEAC is just in price discovery. There's no actual horizontal resistance or anything like that on FEAC. So all we can really do here, I'm probably going to clear this out. I think that was from like the daily. All you can do is use Fibonacci like how we did on plug. That's the wrong symbol. Give me a second here. Fib retracement. Okay. So from your previous swing high to your previous swing low is how you anchor the fib. It already broke the 1618. So these are, the next resistances in terms of fib extensions. Obviously don't know if it's going to hit all of these levels, so those are just the levels to look at. And Fubo, Palantir, Neo, and Snapchat all heavily regarded the fib extensions on their charts. So maybe this will too, maybe it won't. Again, nothing is certain, but I do like how it broke out of 1433. It could back test it and flip the previous resistance into support. So just look out for all of those things, but definitely a great 19% day today. And also, obviously, keep in mind it just went from $10 to $16. So I don't know if it's the value area. We have seen a lot of things like this run up from $10 to like $30. So I don't know. We're going to have to see. And just take it day by day. That's all I'm going to say on it. But I do like the breakout. And that is FEAC. So I'm going to look back in the chat, see what's up with you guys. Keep on hitting that like button. We got 46 people in here, 33 likes. Let's get to 40 likes, guys. Just, helps grow the stream. And if you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. And then finally, if you want to send me a tip, it is the pinned comment in the chat. So let's continue the analysis. Oh yeah, we could take a look at DGLY. So I have been showing it on stream, and it is also an official trade setup on my Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you definitely should be. Had a lot of crazy 20% to like 50% calls on Twitter in the last 3 weeks. So it's been very good, if I'm being quite honest. And this is one of them. It's already up a very decent amount. And basically, you had a descending broadening wedge on the 4-hour with hidden bullish divergence. Also, you were right around the 238 support. So I posted this chart when it was 242, pretty much like right here. And then like the next day or the day after it, it went up more than 10% to 266. And then what it did was it came and back tested 238, closed over it, and then it back tested the breakout of the descending broadening wedge. So it had a run, which is called a break. Then it had a hook, which is where it back tested the descending broadening wedge in the previous horizontal support. And then what we're waiting for is the go. You had a break, you had a hook, and now we're waiting just for it to go. You have the breakout, you have the retest, you have the divergence, not only on the 4-hour, but also on the daily. It is inches away from also creating hidden bullish divergence. which implies price continuation to the upside. You're in the golden zone. It has pretty much all the factors I look for. So I am looking for like an upper $2 target. It doesn't have to be $2.92 exactly, but just in that general area. I would say this is more of like a midterm play, not necessarily short term or super long term, more of just like a midterm play. But again, with all those factors, nothing is ever certain. You know, I always say that every single night. You're just using technical analysis for probability to help give you more of an edge, you know, while trading and using good trading habits. So yeah, that's DGLY. Very good day today. Not that it had like a crazy run or anything today, but just because it did have the breakout and the back test, and then it started moving up towards the end of the day. So we'll see how it opens tomorrow, but currently looking very good. What is up, Naxty? Welcome to the channel. Thank you for the subscription. All right, let's see what else we got in the chat. Appreciate the support, Al. Drop some tickers in the chat. Let's see what we should be looking at right now, guys. Give me something that isn't a straight line up or a straight line down. Give me something that's like consolidating. It's creating a pattern. LCA, I don't think it's creating a pattern. It's just a straight line up. Been talking about it since $11. So yeah, LCA is literally just a straight line up. It's a coin flip at this point. Been talking about it since it was literally $11.37 with the classic bullshit divergence, descending wedge, previous support, and since then it went up almost 100% in price. There is technically no resistance that I'm seeing. It already broke all the fib extensions, and there's no, you know, resistance looking left. So it is in price discovery, and your support is 1843. If you break under that, probably gonna dump, but it is, you know, some time away. That's literally LCA. Okay, we got a lot of tickers coming in. Shall we take a look at XLM, Fubo, PLTR, Beyond? I'm liking a lot of these requests. Definitely things I want to be looking at. Again, like I might look at, you know, charts like this that are straight lines up, but there's just not much I can do. Technical analysis works when you're consolidating, creating patterns, creating divergence and stuff like that. So we're going to start off with a crypto, Stellar Lumens, XLM. Just had an insane run. So again, you know, maybe not the best thing to be looking at. It already had its run. You know, it just went from 8 cents to 22 cents. We got the $10 donation from Homebrew. Thanks for showing me the power of technical analysis. Thank you for, you know, supporting the stream with the $10 donation. Thank you for putting in the time to just, you know, learn and try and give yourself a better probability, a bigger edge. Really appreciate the $10 donation. Thank you very much. But yeah, XLM, there's literally nothing I can do here. It just had a major run up. Yeah, I'm going to move on from that one. Fubo also had a major run up. Palantir also had a major run up. I mean, those are two things I've been going over on stream and I've been talking about before they had their major run up. Like, if you've been in the stream, you know exactly what I'm talking about. On Fubo, you had the ascending triangle. You broke out, hit the 1618 at the time. Then you retested $15. I literally put out a buy signal on Twitter when Fubo was $15. I didn't call the first pump, but I did call the second bounce at $15. And since 15, it's almost doubled in price. Hit the 1618, and that was just showing resistance at 27.71. It closed right under it. Again, support 23.84, resistance 27.71, and your previous all-time high. Palantir, pretty much the same story. I'm not trying to sound like a broken record, but it's like these are things that already ran up. So like, of course they can keep running, but there's just nothing I can do here in terms of charting. There's no pattern, there's no divergence, there's no Fibonacci to use really. Maybe you could find like support levels, but like what would your swing low be here? There isn't any clear swing low, it's just a straight line up, so I don't even know if Fibonacci would work for that or if it would work correctly. Beyond, we could take a look at. I have a trade set up on Beyond currently. Whoa, someone. Thank you for the $6 donation. Yeah, we can take a look at XRP before we go into Beyond. Again, XRP, straight line up. Actually, this one has more data. It has been creating data, so we could work with it. talked about XRP. I literally said if XRP broke 49 cents, it would go right to 56. And if it broke 56 cents, the next resistance was 76. The way I got those targets before it, the second half of this run up, I did not call the first half of the run up, but the way I got the 56 cent and the 76 target was just the high from November 6, 2018 and September 21st, 2018. So using past data to find selling targets and buying targets is very useful. As you can see, it reversed right around that top target, and now one Bitcoin did pull back to 16,200. Pretty much every single crypto dumped. That's just how crypto works. Let's see what Fibonacci it bounced off of. So let's say I just started from right there, go up to here. Wow, that is perfect. Why do I always talk about Fibonacci and the golden retrace and the golden ratio? When XRP dumped, it bounced at the 0.618, which is the golden retrace. It's the most common place for assets to have a reversal. And at the time, not only were you at the golden retrace, you also had hidden bullish divergence where you made a higher low on price, but a lower low on your MACD. So obviously there was a huge buy signal right here on XRP with the golden retrace and divergence. And since then it went from 45 cents to currently 65. But yeah, I don't really know. Maybe you look at this like a rising wedge, but truly it just depends on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin keeps on running up, honestly, this looks like more like a new channel. Yeah, if Bitcoin can break to a new all-time high, XRP should keep running. If Bitcoin pulls back at the previous or the current all-time high, definitely take caution. But yeah, I would say it's like kind of like a channel. It's not perfect by any means. But yeah, I would say that this is your current channel. Your support is just the green line that's upsloping, and the resistance is the top green line, and then also 76 cents, give or take, also this little high at 79 cents. Yeah, that's XRP. There's no divergence. You're not oversold or anything on the 4-hour. I could take a look at the daily. No divergence on the daily. You're just in a channel after bouncing off of the golden retrace with hidden bullish divergence. Just an upsloping channel. It's all good until it's not. It is completely fine until it breaks the support line of the upsloping channel. So appreciate the donation. What is up, Chris? What's up, Ryan, Jordan, Mark, Al, Vinay, Keenan, Steven, Shez, Olivier. Yeah, I think we're going to look at Beyond, and then I'm going to move on to a couple of the other ones. So Beyond. Been talking about it since $121. I actually day traded it when it was 121. I day traded it from 121 to 129. Then I got out for a little bit, and then right around like 133, after it broke 129, I put out a new trade setup for Beyond. It was a long-term trade, and currently it's just right in the middle. It is very well in profit. The buy signal was $130 on the trade I put out. Currently it's 139. At one point it did go up to 145. Basically it's just showing resistance at 140. And why is it doing that? If we look back in time, look how many times it failed to break 140 over there, and then over here was actually like kind of your support from right here and from right here. So 140 is definitely a level to look at on Beyond, and currently it's just right under it. No bearish divergence or anything, but the MACD is sloping downwards. But yeah, looks okay. It's just in the middle of a trade. If it can break over 140, like truly, and close a couple daily candles over that, very good chance of it running to 150 and filling the gap. If it really continues to struggle to break 140, there is a gap fill to 129.70. So it's just literally right in that middle area. It's at a make or break area. If it breaks over it, you could probably see the gap fill to the upside. If it cannot break over it, you're probably going to see the gap fill to the downside. So that is Beyond. Pretty much just in the middle of what I would consider a profit area for the trade I posted. But yeah, I mean, it's not bad or anything. Just kind of in a gray area. Keenan says, how long have you been trading? I've been trading since I turned 18 in May. So 5th month to the 11th month. Like 6 months, something like that. But I have been studying technical analysis for a whole entire year because I was just interested in Bitcoin. So I wanted to know about Bitcoin and stuff. And I started watching Mitch Ray, who's currently on my TV right now. Started watching him and his live streams, and I learned how to do technical analysis over the course of a year. And then I started trading myself. And then once, I felt I was pretty good at it, I decided to share what I have learned over the last year with other people. And so far it's been going very well. So that's pretty much my story with all of this. Let me try and get the music working again. I don't know why it just randomly cuts out. Let's see if this works. No, it doesn't. I don't know why. Like, the music works in the beginning of the stream and then halfway and it just skips up. But I guess it's fine. And now I could probably try one thing. Let's see if we can get it. Whoa, we got the donation though. Steven, what is up? Requesting BLU, right? I can't really see that super clearly. Let me check on the website. But I think he said BLU. Appreciate the donation. Yeah, blue. So let's take a look at that. Thank you guys very much for 42 likes. Really appreciate it. If you're not subscribed already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Blue 279 is your support. It did break over it and then it back tested it. Technically, you do have hidden bullish divergence on the 4-hour, which implies price continuation to the upside on your MACD. As you can see, you made a higher low on price, but you made a lower low on your MACD, which is hidden bullish divergence. Not confirmed, but any signs of demand tomorrow morning would probably confirm it. But yeah, it broke over 279, which was like the previous resistance from July and August. Then it back tested 279. And if you're looking for targets on it, if you did enter it at a value area, obviously there is some resistance at 322. But you would figure if the hidden bullish divergence does play out, there's a good chance of it breaking 322 fairly easily. So then you're looking at $3.52, which is your golden retrace. Just from like this high over here to the lowest point it's been, your golden retrace of that would be $3.52. And at the same time, you have 367, which was like these two upper parts of the candle bodies from July 6th. So a lot of like resistance between 352 and 367. So if you got in at a value area, that could be a really good, profit taking level. And if it does break that, 446 would probably come next, just because that is the highest point I see on the chart. So yeah, those are your levels to know on blue. No pattern or anything really, but you do have hidden bullish divergence on the 4-hour. Let me take a look at the other time frames. Really nothing looking on the daily. 1 hour. Yeah, I don't know if there's any pattern here. Yeah, I don't see much of a pattern. Kind of looks rounding bottom, which is good. Now it's going sideways. Wouldn't call it a cup and handle. And again, it's the 1 hour, but I do like that type of price action over $2.79. And you also had hidden bullish divergence on the 1 hour, but now it's just, the MACD is starting to move back down. So it looks good. Doesn't look great. But if it breaks through 322, it could be off to 352, 367. And that's BLU. Again, guys, make sure to hit that like button. Let's see if we can hit 50 likes on the stream. Appreciate all the support, for real. Just free analysis, so if you support what I'm doing, hit that like button. Takes 1 second. Watch out for copyright on YouTube. Honestly, I don't even know if you guys can hear my music right now. I'm listening to it, but I don't think Streamlabs is recording it. It's like a weird glitch I need to figure out. Like, the music works for like the first 5-10 minutes, and then Streamlabs just stops picking it up. But no, I don't really care about the copyright stuff because I'm not monetizing anything. I'm not making money off of this in terms of, ad revenue. Just trying to help you guys out. So very similar model to what Mitch Ray is doing, the person I talk about all the time. He's really the reason, I'm doing all of this. So shout out to him. And very similar to what he's doing. I think it's a great model, and all the credit to him, of course. But yeah, you guys want to look at the IPOB, IPOC, those new waves of SPACs. Sure, we could take a look. I have been looking at IPOB, so let's see what's up with it. I just clicked on the wrong one. So IPOB. Appreciate the 45 likes, 5 more likes to 50 likes. And it looks like it broke out today. Not only did it break out, it hit the 2346 resistance, and that's where it pulled back. So again, all of this has been on my chart. Broke out of the pattern to the upside, which is kind of crazy because that was technically a bearish pattern where the probability of breaking to the upside was like 30%, and the probability of breaking to the downside was like 70%. So definitely some bullish stuff going on here, even in a bearish pattern, which again, it's possible. It's just a lower probability. And yeah, it ran up to 2346, which was like your resistance over here, and it pulled back there, and now it back tested the breakout. As you can see, it closed right on the previous resistance and flipped it into support, which is something I do like to see. So it is in a very, very tight area right now, and super simple. If it falls under this red line, like this upsloping red line, and it confirms a candle close under that, take caution because there is a gap fill to $20.34. But if it does not fall under this upsloping line and it breaks $23.46, the next resistance after that would be a retest of all-time highs at like 26.55, give or take. So yeah, in a very tight range. Definitely see what happens tomorrow morning at open. That could be very telling. But that is IPOB. Now let's take a look at IPOC. We're talking about FEAC, Bala. I'm not gonna say I called this move. All I said, I was pretty neutral about it. All I said on FEAC was it's in a neutral pattern, and whichever side it breaks out to, you're probably going to see price continuation to that side. There was no way for me to know if it would break to the upside or the downside. But it broke to the upside, and again, I did not need to know that. You never want to expect anything. You just need to react. So when you saw, hey, FEAC is breaking over 1433, the resistance line from September 2nd and October 12th, it's breaking over that. Maybe it's becoming bullish, and then right after you break out of that, I just used the wrong tool. Right after you break out of that, it went up 11.70%. So I didn't call it or anything, but I definitely, I was saying that it could be possible if you broke 1433, and now 1433 is your new support, and your resistances are the Fibonacci extensions. That's FEAC. Now we're gonna look at IPOC. I don't think I've charted that one. I might have. Oh, I kind of did, I guess. But here you go. $9 was your support from pretty much the end of October until last week. Then you found a way to bounce off that support, and it ran right up to 1037, and it's using 1037 as resistance. Now why is it doing that? Because 1037 was the previous support. So over here, all in this area, it was support, and now it is using as resistance. 4K, all good, man. Appreciate all the support. Have a good one. But yeah, it's out of resistance. If it can break it, I'll show you the targets. But if it cannot break it, the next support would be $10.16, which is obviously very close. And this is just one of those new SPACs where it's just finding a lot of support at the $10 range, which is like the redemption price for the shares. But yeah, it's just finding support around $10. It did have a nice, 4% move or something like that. And if it can break 1037, the next resistance is $11. So super simple. Not only is it a psychological resistance, you also have the high from October 16th at that price. So those are your levels on IPOC. No divergence and no pattern, just support and resistance levels. Again, guys, 4 likes away from 50 likes. So let's hit that like button. Let's get to 50 likes. Let's keep it going. What is up, Leo? Welcome back to the stream. Definitely got a lot of stuff in here. I think we should take a look at PIC. Another one of the trades I put out on Twitter. Honestly, I was a little bit late to PIC in terms of putting out like a trade on Twitter, but I was really early if you've been watching the stream. If you've been watching the stream, you got that stream exclusive. Didn't even talk about it on Twitter. But on stream, when it was $10, I was showing how it was just consolidating out of support. And then I literally said if it broke the 200-day moving average, it's probably going to see much higher prices. And that's exactly what happened, going up 60% after that. Follower, thank you for the $5 donation. Let me see what the message was. Appreciate the 5. STRAX. So we're going to take a look at that, and then we're going to come back to PIC. So let's see what's up with that. Is this what you want me to be looking at? STRAX. Is this what you want me to be looking at? Currently $3.35. I'm not too sure. Just let me know in the chat. Whoever sent the 5. But yeah, I'll come back to it. I just don't know because I don't see anything really here unless you're asking for the crypto. And Gavin, I like trains too. Great input there. So yeah, you're asking for the stock on whatever exchange this is, or are you asking for the crypto? Let me know in the chat. But until then, we're going to keep going over PIC. Oh, it's the crypto. Okay. So we did get the confirmation. That's why I didn't want to look at like the wrong thing, because then I'd be going over some random stock. I'm going to go over to the US dollar just to make things simple. Yeah, I mean, just off the rip. Very weird looking chart. I don't think I've ever seen these types of candles on a chart before. I don't even know if this is real data, but that certainly doesn't look real, so I'm not going to even consider that area. This is pretty much all I'm going to look at. No hidden bullish divergence on the 4-hour. If we go to the daily, there was kind of hidden bullish divergence if you don't consider this wick, but obviously regardless, it's already playing out. You just saw higher prices. Did not mean to go to the 3-hour. But obviously it's a pretty small market cap crypto, so it probably completely depends on Bitcoin and what Bitcoin does at these levels. There really isn't much of a pattern. I do see a downsloping, resistance line, which would be that. And I don't see any major support line. Maybe you could say something like that, but there is no pattern that looks like this. It's not a falling wedge because you have this whole entire area right here. So it's not any textbook pattern. That's just your resistance area and your support area. There is no divergence. It's above the 200-day moving average and right on the VWAP. So honestly, no major edge here if I'm being completely honest. It probably does just depend on Bitcoin. Appreciate the subscription, Alien. But yeah, that is STRAX. Now we're just going to finish up PIC. After breaking the 200-day moving average, it had a 60% run. And earlier today, it pulled back because it fell under the 1471 support, which I warned about on Twitter. Thank you guys for 50 likes. Really appreciate it. But yeah, PIC fell under 1471, and I said the next support was 1354. Right after it broke 1471, it literally dumped within, we could probably just take a look. Yeah, from 9:30 to 10:30, within an hour, it really, really fell from the high of the day to the low point. But within literally 20 minutes, it went from 1471 to almost 1354. So it dumped very fast after breaking 1471, which I did warn about on my Twitter. If you want live updates and stuff like that, follow me on Twitter at ChampionVibe. It's in the bottom left of your screen. But yeah, it didn't really technically touch 1354. The reason 1354 is the support is because it was a previous resistance. It was your resistance on November 24th and September 23rd. So it didn't technically touch it, but it bounced off of that general area. And when you get, you know, back tests and stuff like that, it doesn't need to be to the exact cent. Obviously, it's more optimal to have it to the exact cent. But you want to see a bounce in that general area, and we did see that. Very similar to Fisker, you know, it didn't bounce right off of 18.21, but it went to $18 and bounced there. So it was very, very close. And what really doesn't matter is like how much it wicks down. What matters is where the candle closes. That's how you get confirmation. And it did close over 13.54. So PIC is in an uptrend until there is a candle close on the 4-hour or daily under 13.54. 13.54 is that key level to look at. And your resistances are 14.71, the golden ratio 1.618. And after that, just your previous all-time high, but that is PIC. Vinay says he exited at 14.70 just because of you, champion. Personally, I'm just holding PIC. I'm holding Fisker and PIC for a long time just because I really like the fundamentals of the company. But that's not financial advice. It's just what I'm, you know, personally doing. But yeah, I mean, if Fisker and PIC continue falling, I'll probably just add more to my position. But I'm really betting on them long term. But of course, if you did exit at 14.70 with the warning that I put out once it broke the support, literally right when it broke the support, I put out the warning. And if you did exit at 14.70, you definitely did get a better opportunity to buy lower, which was a pretty good, not a profit margin yet, but it was a good, you know, preventable loss margin, if that makes sense to you. So looks like we're getting HEXO. We can take a look at that. Appreciate all the support, guys. We still got 50 people in here. I think this is the longest time we've had 50 people in the stream. So good to see everybody in here. I will take a look at AMCI. HEXO. Again, technical analysis really just does not work for straight lines up. You know, technical analysis really does work when you're consolidating and going sideways, creating divergence, patterns, support and resistance levels. When you have a run like this, it's really just a 50-50. If you really want me to give you two levels, which honestly might not have a great probability just because of how volatile it is, 109 is your support and 122 is your resistance. I'm just using past data to look at those levels. I don't know if they're going to be regarded super well, but that's literally all I can give you on the chart. Just really a coin flip. You know, I'm going to be as straightforward as possible with you guys. Not here to shill any cryptos or stocks, just trying to help people learn, you know, when to use technical analysis and how to do it. Appreciate the support, Alien. Thank you guys again for the 52 likes. Really appreciate it. But yeah, drop some more tickers in the chat. We can take a look at LGVW. And again, I can't get to every single request just for time purposes, but I will try to get to as many as possible. This is exactly what I just talked about. Nothing I can do on a chart like that. Again, just no data for me to work with, and you need data to do technical analysis. GMHI, same exact thing. We're going to keep on going until we get something that actually has an edge. There is nothing you can do here that will give you more than a 50-50 probability in terms of technical analysis. Apple, great, perfect. Apple is one of the trade setups that I went over last night on stream. If you guys were here last night on stream, it was the first thing I talked about. And the idea of the trade setup that I made on Apple last night was the first low, then the second higher low, then the third higher low, with a breakout of the supply line, and then the back test of the breakout confirming the previous resistance is now support, and the bullish convergence on the 4-hour RSI and MACD and the daily MACD. And what happens when you get all of those variables lining up, even on a red day in the market, Apple had a 2% day today, and it was up 3% at one point. It also did have a nice after hours going up a little bit. But yeah, it did break out of this supply line, but then I kind of noticed this white supply line. It got over it, but it did not confirm the candle close over it. So you do need a candle close confirmation of like this mini white supply line. If it does break that, you're looking for $125 around the area, which is your 618. It's your high from October 12th, and it's your support from August 28th. A lot of price action at 124.75. So if you were in for the short-term trade that I put out, it's literally only 8%, but if you're playing something like call options or something, it could be very profitable. And if it, the only way you're going to get there is if you break this white supply line. And the bullish convergence, not divergence, convergence, is looking good. You had the MACD crossover on the 4-hour. On the daily, I don't think it crossed over, but it's very close to doing so, as you can see. Same thing on the RSI. So it's very close. And yeah, somebody like literally messaged me today that they made like 50% on call option profits, with the Apple trade setup that I put out last night. So great to hear that. And again, the short term, like, it still is a 3-to-1 reward to risk, but the profit's only 8%. So I don't know how I feel about that. I think the real trade is the long-term trade, going for a retest of the high from September 2nd. It is shooting for the fences for sure. Definitely lower probability than 124. But, just a better profit margin and a looser stop loss. Again, the stop loss is mainly up to you. It's just, just dependent on your risk tolerance. But also, don't put a stop loss on a support level where it could bounce. Put it a little bit under the support level. Yeah, it's Apple. Looks good. Currently just playing out. Trade's already in profit by a few percent. And I'm personally in for the long-term trade. If you're playing options or something, or you just want the 8% profit, the short-term trade could be for you. Again, it's just all probability. Nothing here is certain. It did have a nice start, but we're going to have to see how it continues to develop. That is Apple. Ryan already looked at GMHI. Vinay says he took the 130 call, and it was up 180 to 250. Awesome to hear that. Congrats on the $70 profit per contract, I would assume. That's what you were talking about. But 130 call. Yeah, I mean, I don't know when the expiration date on that is, and I'm not like an options pro. I'm not trying to say I'm an options pro. I'm just, I'm just myself learning about options and stuff. And, I've just recently started trying them out. But, yeah. Good stuff on Apple today. We could take a look at AMCI. So, again, there's nothing I can do here. Straight line up. There's no pattern, no divergence. Nothing I can do that can help you out with probability. Sure, we can take a look at Chainlink, which is a crypto right here. I think I have it charted on the 4-hour. Yeah, so Chainlink is just in this upsloping channel. It broke out of the channel. It had a nice run to $16. Then when Bitcoin pulled back to 16,200, so did every other crypto. Every crypto pulled back. That's just how crypto works. And what Link did was it retested the upsloping demand line of the channel, and the 1168 previous resistance flipped into support, and go figure, that's exactly where it bounced, up 20% since then. So the value area was 1168. I've shown this chart multiple times on stream. And at this point, your next resistance is this blue upsloping supply line. But again, just keep watching Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is at a critical level, being like 2% away from all-time highs. So you would figure that if Bitcoin did break all-time highs and, really ran, so would Chainlink. And then on the flip side, if Bitcoin could not break all-time highs and pulled back after an 82% run, Chainlink would probably fall back down to 1337, 1168, 1031, depending on how, violent that could be. So just keep watching Bitcoin. All right, so he longed for January 15th. Definitely, I would say it's the higher probability. But again, it is an option, so, things like implied volatility and time decay do come into account. But, you're already in profit, so good to hear that. Just keep managing that risk and be safe. Tilray. Oh yeah, I'm down to look at Tilray. So called the bottom on Tilray, confirmed. Nobody can argue that with me. Called the bottom. In terms of like the local bottom, not the all-time low or anything. But if you've been watching the stream, if you've been following me on Twitter, not once, but twice, when Tilray was in the 664 to 673 range, I said it was a buy. I said it was a buy at 673. And why did I say that? You had a support looking left, previous resistance, and actual support. You were at the 786 Fibonacci retrace. You had hidden bullish divergence on the 4 hour, and you had hidden bullish divergence on the daily. And at 673, the lowest part before it just had a rally, I put out the buy signal. And since then, it went up 42%. Not only did it go up 42%, it hit my first target, then it pulled back. Then it went up today and it hit my second target. Literally pretty much to the cent. It was a couple cents off. But literally hit the first target, pulled back, hit the second target. And again, this is not me being a wizard. It's just using gap fills, support levels, 1 hour double bottoms, hidden bullish divergence, Fibonacci, all the things I try to teach. If you want to learn about all of those things, the link to my free course is in the description. But yeah, Tilray, perfect trade. From start to finish, perfect trade. It could go higher, just because of how crushed the whole entire weed industry is. But, it's just more of like a 50-50 now. Maybe like a 55% probability for the bulls, like a 60% probability for the bulls. And the reason I do say that is because just today you confirmed the hidden bullish divergence on the daily, where you made a higher low on price, but you made a lower low on the MACD, and you had a confirmed green wick on your MACD. So, hidden bullish divergence does imply price continuation to the upside, and that's like really the only thing I see currently for it. So we'll see if that plays out. But perfect 43% trade on Tilray. Ryan already went over Tattooed Chef. Basically, it needs to stay over that 200-day moving average, and it needs to break over $16. Otherwise, it could probably be headed to $14. Shopify inverse head and shoulders. Let's take a look. I see what you're saying, for sure. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, regardless of whether or not it is an inverse head and shoulders, I don't think it really matters. I think what needs to happen on Shopify is really clear either way, if I'm being completely honest. So I think this is what you're considering the inverse head and shoulders to be. Sure, it's really close. I do like the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder for sure. The only thing is, like, the pivots in between it were kind of weird because you had this low right here, and then you had this low right here. So it's just kind of, it's interesting. It's really like a complex inverse head and shoulders, where you had a low, a higher low, then you made a lower low, then you made a higher low, then you made a lower low, and now you're moving back up. So very interesting price action. Looks really cool, if I'm being honest, in terms of like a chart. So yeah, let's say it is an inverse head and shoulders. Your neckline, I don't know where it would exactly be, but it would just be in this area. You would need a break. Probably pull this out. You're just gonna need a break out of this for confirmation. So yeah, I get what you're saying for sure. You would need a break over 1144 with confirmation to really say that's a confirmed pattern. No bullish divergence on the daily, and nothing on the 4 hour. I'm not ignoring you, ironic. I just haven't seen your message. Sorry for that. SRAC, we could take a look at that. What else we got in here? YFI, try and take a look. But again, most of these cryptos, they're just dependent on Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's at a critical level right now. So whatever Bitcoin decides to do is probably what the rest of the coins are going to do. SRAC, there's nothing I can do here in terms of technical analysis. This is like the 7th time I've said it, and I know you've been waiting for me to look at it, which is why it kind of sucks. But truly, I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to be harsh or anything. Technical analysis does not work when you have a straight line up. Technical analysis works when you make a cup and handle. Yeah, SRAC was a cup and handle before this major run up. You had the cup and then you had the handle. And then look what happened. You broke out of it and you went to the moon. So this is where technical analysis really does work, when you have patterns, divergence, support levels, resistance levels. And now it's just a 50-50. It's a straight line up. There's nothing I can do with that. No pattern I can make. If you really want me to give you something that has a low probability, there's a gap fill to 1182, which would be your support, and there's a resistance at 1436. Literally all I can do on SRAC. Not trying to be rude, just trying to be honest. What is up, David? Welcome to the stream. Sure, we can take a look at OGI, was it? See what's up with that. Again, guys, really appreciate all the support. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to hit that make sure to hit that subscribe button if you support the free analysis. If you want to send me a tip, it is the first link in the description and the pinned comment in the chat. Any tip, $3 or higher, I will look at whatever you request immediately, just as like a thank you for supporting the stream. Be ironic. If you want me to look at something else, and I do see it in the chat, I will surely do so. There's just not too much I can do when you have a straight line up. Appreciate the subscription, David and Ironic. But yeah, I mean, if you give me a chart that's consolidating, it has support levels and stuff like that, there's a lot for me to work with, and I'll definitely take a look. Digits, what's up with the $10 donation? Hey, great stuff. Love the streams. Can you look at XPEV? Sure thing. Really appreciate the $10. So I'm going to look at XPEV just because he donated 10, and I'm going to come back to OGI. So XPEV. I'm worried because I think this one is kind of like another straight line up. All right, it is. So XPEV, I've been talking about it since it was $20. I mean, it is a little bit more than just a straight line up. I will give XPEV that. You got a straight line up, and now you're potentially getting a bull flag, but it could be argued that it got invalidated. So I'm just going to clear up all this recent stuff just to clear things off. Just that was past data before this run up. Honestly, I would not spend this much time on this chart if you didn't donate the 10. Just because there's not a lot I can do here, but you obviously really want to see any sort of edge you can get. So I'm going to try my best here, and there definitely is more to look at here than the other charts where they were literally just straight lines up. You do have some downsloping stuff going on. So definitely what I do see is the support level at 56.20. As you can see, that was resistance twice on November 20th, and it was your support today. So 56.20 is your support. And then could we call this a bull flag? I don't know. Let's see. Let's try and see if that'll work out. I'll try and take a look at that Ironic after this. I say yes. I would say sure. I feel like this is a bull flag. Alright, so it's kind of clear to me what's going on here. You had an insane run up. Like really, you went from $18 to $74. And then you're just creating like a bull flag, which is bullish. So super simple here. You're in a bull flag, and there is a potential of breaking out of it and having another, small rally or big rally. No way to know. So if you ever do break out of this, top downsloping resistance line with confirmation, that's very good. So that's what you're looking for, and then your risk is just to 56.20. If it breaks under 56.20, you probably would want to take caution, because under that, probably the next support that I'm eyeing is like 47.05. So it's in a bull flag, and even if it does break 56.20, maybe it would still be in the bull flag, but you don't want a bull flag to be extending for too long. You want the bull flag to play out within a few days, and this has been playing out for about like a week now. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, as long as it stays over 56.20, it's fine. If it falls under that, take caution. But for now, probably you could consider this to be a bull flag. Let's take a look at RIGL. Appreciate the $10 again. Brian with the quick question. He says, what's up, man? Quick question. What's your thought process like when the market has a red day? Like, how do you approach trading for that day? Great question, first of all. He says, I see some guys making gains today and was wondering how to go about that. There's a few things you can do. All right, I'm gonna look at RGIL after this talk. There is something for me to do here for sure. But yeah, when the market does have, you know, a red day, the first thing you need to do is not be emotional. You should never be worried about red days in the market, and you should never have sleepless nights because you're on crazy margin with no stop losses. Because you just shouldn't be. You should have good risk management so that when those red days on the market come, you're not losing a crazy amount of money, more than you want to lose, and at the same time you can also buy some dips. So always manage your risk, so whenever those red days come, you're already ready for it. And then aside from that, what do I do intraday on the red days is, first of all, I try to decide whether I think that it's going to be the start of a long-term downtrend or if it's just, you know, a pullback after a run up. That's the first thing I do. I mainly just look at the indexes, the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, the Russell 2K, the QQQ, and I just see if, you know, if they have support levels or if they don't, and then I make my decision on whether I feel that the red day is just a simple dip or if it could be the start of something ugly. If I do feel it's the start of something ugly, probably going to majorly de-risk my account, you know, take a lot of cash on hand, take some profits, maybe even cut some losses, stuff like that. And if I do think it's going to be a bounce, I might start buying the dip on, you know, certain assets. So that's usually what I do on a red day today. That's what I did today. So yeah, you just gotta not be emotional, and you have to plan for the future. You can't get too caught up in that one single day. You have to be thinking, what could happen tomorrow? What could happen next week? What could happen a month from now? Stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Don't get too caught up in the moment. You shouldn't be getting too caught up in the moment. So how do people get positive on red days? There's a couple of things you can do. There's no perfect answer to that. One, you could have already been hedging the market with like a volatility ETF or shorting, you know, an index or a stock. So that's one way to make money off of something falling down. The other way would maybe just be buying options or simply just buying dips and then playing like the dead cat bounces or like the actual bounces at support levels. So it's not like a simply answered question, but you know, there's multiple ways to do it. You can make money. You can literally make money in the stock market if the price goes up, if the price goes down, or if the price does nothing. Like there is always a way to make money in the stock market, no matter what the prices are doing. You just need to know how to do it safely. Peace out, David. Could you go back to OGI like you were about to before the dono? Oh, I was looking at that. Sure. Oh yeah, I didn't even go over it. So yeah, now we got OGI and then RIGL. Hopefully you're still here, David. But I will take a look at it. Currently out of resistance. But yeah, great question, Brian. Yeah, as you can see, it's at 141, which was your support in March of this year and early July this year. And it's right at 141. It closed, you know, at that level on the dot. So technically this could be a reversal area, but if it breaks above it, which would be very close, the next thing you're looking at is the 200-day moving average, which is currently at 152. If it breaks the 200-day moving average, you have a gap fill to 158. So you could definitely see more resistance. Not what I meant to do. You could definitely see more resistance in this area. I'm assuming that there is a breakout of 141. If it breaks the area, no clue where it can go. It's, you know, it's been crushed on price. Not a good macro trend at all. So, you know, I don't know when the bottom is going to be on this one for sure, but assuming it would break 141, not that it has divergence or anything, but let's just say it did, you could see that price next. Digis, thank you for the $10 donation. Really appreciate it. And Digits said, I know you probably already talked about Fisker. I was wondering if you could just let me know quickly your thoughts. Don't want to take a lot of time away from the viewers. Of course, we can look at Fisker. Then I will go to RIGL. But yeah, I did talk about Fisker. I think it was like the third thing I talked about on stream. But yeah, so obviously the whole entire story was the bullish butterfly right around the merger date at $9, posted it then up 163% then, so you cannot be surprised if you get a pullback from 24 to 18 after a 163% run. Thanks for the support, David. What's up, Carl? But yeah, so what's currently happening with Fisker is there's local support at 1931. What actually happened today was it broke the support and it went and back tested 1821, which was your previous resistance. There's resistance here, here, and here. So Fisker today confirmed that your previous resistance is now support, which is a very good thing for a bull run. That's exactly what you want to be seeing. Bounced off of that and ended up closing back over 1931. If I look at the 1 hour, you can see how real of a support 1931 is, locally at least. So your local support is 1931. If you fall under that again, the next support is 1821, which should be a pretty strong support if I'm being honest. But if you can bounce off of the support at 1931, the targets to look at are just simply the Fibonacci extensions. First one is 2279. After that is 2563. And let's get to those two first, and then maybe we'll talk about the third one. You also have like the previous all-time high at 2161. Honestly, probably just gonna throw that on my chart. I think there is some slight some slight resistance at 2161. Gonna make that a blue line. So yeah, that's Fisker. These are all the levels to look at. If you want to take a screenshot, go for it. But the levels under you are just simply support, and the levels over you are resistance. You know, there's no pattern here or anything like that. It already broke out of the bull flag on the daily, the right angled descending broadening wedge with hidden bullish divergence on the 1 hour. Posted all of that on my Twitter last week. And I've been posting Fisker for ever since it was at $9 and even before that. So yeah, Fisker. What I really like about it is how well the technical analysis works on it. Like I was talking about on Twitter the other day, like literally probably like 38 out of my 40 calls on Fisker have been spot on just using, you know, technical analysis. So that was Fisker. I do have to take a look at RIGL. Not sure if you're still here. Who was it? Ironic, are you still here? You still want me to take a look at RIGL? Oh, the $20 donation. Let's go. Digits. Really appreciate it. Let's go back here. What did Digits say? Thanks again. Been holding 10k shares of Fisker since 9. Legend. So glad to hear that. Obviously you doubled your money. I don't know if you took profits. You might just be holding it long term like I am. But very glad to hear that you got in at literally the best price to get in on Fisker. Yeah, man, for the ones that were in Fisker at $9, I have a lot of respect for, because, you know, like me and all those other people, not a lot of people remember how stressful those days were on what was at the time SPAC. So congratulations to you. I'll see you at the Fisker yacht party in 3 years. But yeah, so this is RIGL. First thing you have is a resistance right here at $3.10. It was your high from January 17th. Yeah, the SPAC OGs. I feel like a lot of the new Fisker traders don't even know what SPAC was. But yeah, there's a lot of resistance at $3.10, even from 2016. So the level you want to break over is 310. That's your resistance. If you break that, you're probably looking at 364 next. You had 3 different highs around 364 from 2018. So if you do break $3.10, that's just the next level to look at. So those are your two resistances, 310 and 364. In terms of support, you have the 200-day moving average, but that's currently at 219. It's very far away. So let me just really zoom in. Let me go to the 4-hour. Probably give you some more local support. It really does look like a rounding bottom. It's not a perfect rounding bottom because of like these wicks, and obviously the volume on this stock is lower, so that's just what happens when you have a low volume stock. But yeah, I mean, you have the wicks, so maybe you could call it a rounding bottom. No cup and handle because there is no handle currently. I want to give you like a straight, support line. That would probably be it, just because as it went up, it just kept on curving, which is why it's like a rounding bottom. So there isn't any like real support line I'm looking at. Oh my gosh. Digits, thank you so much for the $100 donation. What a beast. The SPAC OG. Man, I love you guys. You guys are the best, in a straight way. Not that there's anything wrong with not being straight. I'm just saying you guys are like family to me. Really appreciate all the support and everything that you guys, with the donations, with the likes, with the subscriptions. Thank you guys so much more. Digits with the $100 donation says, IDK, I like your vibe, so I wanted to give more. Interesting reason to give somebody money, but can't complain of that. Can't Thank you so much for the $100 donation. Definitely made my day with that. Can we get some hype in the chat, guys, for the $100 donation from Digits? Really appreciate it. Insane. We got the hype coming in from William, Ryan, Miss Goodridge, BC. Let's go. $100 donation. You love to see it. Thank you very much again for the $100 donation. Have a great night. Really appreciate it. So yeah, RIGL, this would probably be your support line. So there's not a lot of local support, but you are close to 310. If you can break over 310 and confirm it, with candle closes on the daily, you could probably see 364 in time. It could take a while for that to occur. So that's RIGL. What's up, Al? Hope that helps you, Ironic. This is really your real support. I just don't, if you really want me to look at the 1 hour, maybe I could find some support there. Again, it's just kind of weird. All right, if I'm pulling out the magnifying lens, really looking deep into it, and you really want local support, 297. As you can see, you have two little lows there on the 1 hour, but again, it's the 1 hour and you only have two lows there. So that's the only little support you have. I don't even know if that would hold if it retested it, but it could. But yeah, that is RIGL. Let's take a look at HYLN, and sure, we could take a look at NLS. So I haven't looked at Helion in a while. Used to look at it actually like a lot a few weeks ago. If I can find it on my watch list, I might have even taken it off. Probably that's why I haven't looked at it. But I believe it had a nice run after all the SPACs dumped. Many of them ran. No, it didn't. It was not one of the SPACs that have a nice run. I mean, it did run from 19 to 27, which was great, but obviously nothing compared to the prices it was once at. So, yeah, man, it's just been beaten down. Looks kind of similar to TTCF. So this is HYLN. It broke out of this upsloping flag, which I do believe I showed on stream, which is probably why I saw my chart. I've never traded it, so I must have showed this chart on stream. It broke out of this upsloping channel, flag, whatever you want to call it, and then literally, 2 days after it broke out of that to the downside, it gapped down. So this is, again, pretty simple. Unfortunately, you're under the 200-day moving average and you're under the VWAP, which is just not good. Borg, however you pronounce it, yeah, Apple really did have, it didn't have an insane day unless you played options. Then obviously the options went up a lot. But, what I wanted Apple to do played out perfectly. It's just the beginning. It's a long-term trade if you're taking a long-term trade on it. But great stuff on Apple in terms of, really respecting the analysis, as Mitch Ray, my mentor, would say. But HYLN, under the 200-day moving average, under the VWAP, the thing it does have going for it is there is a pretty big support area at 1854. As you can see, that was your recent low before this upsloping flag. And it was your low over here at the end of July, beginning of August. So if it does get back down to 1854, there's a high probability of it bouncing there. And you would think that since it broke under the 200-day moving average and it's under the VWAP, you would see 1854 again. So yeah, I mean, the bad day in the market today was a really bad day for HYLN, down 18%. It got crushed. And if you've been seeing my stream, I warned about the breakout to the downside. Honestly, I didn't even know it could be this bad, but down 18% today. Daily head and shoulders, I get what you're saying. The only thing with that is like the shoulders are way too low. Like, I get what you're saying, left shoulder right here, head over here, and then right shoulder. But like the two things with that is like you want the shoulders to be like in this area. Like a human, shoulders are pretty much just under the head area. And then again, your left shoulder is at 34.53, and then your right shoulder would have been at like 27. So yeah, it's not a head and shoulders, but it's like the psychology of that. You have a run up, then you have a low, then you have a massive run up, and then you dump, and then you make a similar low to your previous one. I get what you're saying, but it's just too far off, especially on a high time frame, to really consider it that. But yeah. Goon says he made $700 on your Apple call off of an option. Should I drop another? And then Digit says, should I drop another dono? Digit says, how much, Goon, you decide be reasonable? Still holding. All right, so I'm a little bit confused on how that conversation went, but really appreciate the donation, Digits. And Goon, very happy to hear that you made $700 off the Apple option call, and you played it with options. Confusing words right there. But yeah, I mean, we could go back to Apple. That's your Helion. Played out exactly how I wanted it to. But the thing was, so what happened with me this morning was I woke up like a little bit later than I usually do, and I always need my coffee when I come to sit down at my desk and start trading and posting on Twitter and stuff. So I'm like, whatever, not expecting anything too crazy. Gonna go make myself a cup of coffee. And that cup of coffee was pretty expensive, not because I lost a lot of money, but because I was planning on getting Apple call options at open, and those few minutes of me making that coffee really messed it up a little bit. Oh my gosh, $50 donation from Digits after the other donations with the $100 before and the $10 before that and the $10 before that, which is $140 in total. Digits, you're a legend. Thank you so much. Let me see the message from Goon Nugget. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Digits. Thank you, Goon Nugget. Dude, this community is really becoming insane. You guys are incredible. Really appreciate it. Again, the $50 after the 100 and the 20 before that. Thank you so much, Digits. Really appreciate it. Like I said before, have a great night. If you ever want me to look anything, drop it in the chat. Try my best to remember all like the people who donate like that and stuff, and whenever they ask for tickers, I just look right at it just as a thank you. The least I can do with donations like that. But again, thank you very much, Digits. Again, let's get the hype in the chat. People start dropping the hype in the chat. Yeah, man, great stuff going on. But yeah, back to my Apple story. See, I didn't get the call options, and then when I looked at the call options, when I did get to my desk this morning, they were already up like 90%. The call option I wanted to get was up 90%. So I was like, if I just would have made the coffee a little bit later, could have got 90%, but we got Digit dropping the big donation, so it's all good. But I did in fact buy, shares of Apple. Didn't get the call options, but I did get shares. So appreciate it, Digits. Thank you very much again. Best community out there. Still super small, but the growth has been insane, like for real. Hopefully we can just, keep on running it up. Borge, let's go. Had to follow in Digit's footsteps with the $50 donation. You guys are insane, dude. You guys are crazy. Oh my gosh. Thank you for the $50 donation. I want more hype in the chat for Borge or Borgie. Tell me how to pronounce it. Is it like you pronounce the G with like a J sound or just with like a G? With the G. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point. But thank you again, however you do pronounce it. Borge. Really appreciate the $50 donation. Man, you guys have been going crazy tonight. Let's keep the hype in the chat going. Super happy. You guys really made my day. Thank you for everybody who's donated tonight with the J. So it's like Borge, right? Borge. Hopefully I'm not messing that up again. Put the donos in a stack of call options. Yeah, we'll see if I get some value call options tomorrow. Yeah, they're not even requesting tickers. They're just supporting the stream, and that is truly humbling. That really is, just to see people donating money like that. Really means a lot to me. Not just because of like money, but just seeing, the support for the TA and the whole entire free trading movement. Awesome. Thank you guys very much. Glad to hear you also made money off the Apple call. So yeah, Apple doing pretty well. Sure, we can take a look at NLS and then we'll look at Bitcoin after that. And I know you've been asking about Johnson & Johnson, so I will look at that as well. Gonna keep the stream going. How long have we been going tonight? Let me take a look. Yeah, Print with a $500 donation. 1 second, I pulled out my headphones. Print with the $500 donation on Thursday was... Dude, I lost my mind. If you were watching the stream then, I literally like I almost fell on my chair. It was crazy. An hour and a half. All right, we'll keep it going. Thank you guys for 60 likes. Jeremy says thoughts on making a community Discord. Eventually, that it's going to happen. Obviously, it's going to be a free Discord. Anybody will be able to join it. Just not currently. I have a lot of stuff I'm working on in terms of being a full-time college student, trading myself, streaming, running my Call of Duty league, trying to work out every day, and then trying to find like an hour or two at night to relax. So I'm working around the clock. But whenever I do get, more free time, the Discord will come out. Probably end of December, early January, we'll come out with the Discord. Just want to make sure I have the right people moderate it and stuff like that. Bitcoin dumping coming from young Spike Lee. Not really. It's at 19,410. It's down 1.5% today, so I would not consider that dumping. But altcoins are definitely falling for sure. Looking back to futures, they're running up. But let's get to NLS. I know, who was it? Zaid has been asking for NLS. So again, the double top on NLS, and look where NLS bounced. We've been going over NLS on the stream, and I've been talking about 1781. And if we go to the 4 hour, you're going to see the double bottom. Literally off of 1781, the level I've been showing, NLS bounced. Very big bounce from 1781 to 2150. It had a double bottom, first bottom right here, second bottom right here. Awesome to see that. Not because I own NLS, just because we've been looking at it for a long time. So great to see that. Peace out, Digits. Thank you again for the insane donations. Peace out, BC. Thank you guys so much. For real. Really appreciate donations. But yeah, NLS, great to see it. Not only bounce off of 1781, which I talked about, but also closed the day over 2078, which I do think is bullish as well. So if you want to talk about a new target, like $23, that could be where it's headed to next. But you really want to, break above 2078 with true confirmation, get a whole entire candle over 2078, not just the top part of the candle. But awesome. Already had a really nice run right where I wanted it to have that run. Like to see that for sure. And then what was the other one I was going to look at? Johnson & Johnson. Very interesting. So I'm just going to show you the major resistance area from like the horizontal line. That's 154, $10 away. And could we call this an inverse head and shoulders? I think so. It might be just a little bit too early to call it that because the right shoulder is not really confirmed. But as you can see here on J&J, that would be your left shoulder. I copied that way too many times. So let me just delete that. All right. So yeah, maybe you could call it an inverse head and shoulders. You really need to start seeing some follow through price action, which you did get today. Like a 1% candle, but still. This was your left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder, and your neckline would be something like that. Bullish pattern on J&J for sure. And you're also at a support level, so J&J is looking pretty good. Well, not right at a support level, but you're $1 away from it. 143 is a support level. No divergence on the 4-hour, but I do like how the MACD is starting to go back towards green. No divergence at all on the 4-hour. And no divergence on the daily. So pretty much what happened was, you know, it just had this run up, it gapped up, and then in the recent days, it filled the gap, and now it's starting to show some good stuff. If you look at the daily, that is called a bullish pin bar candle. It could be a reversal candle to the upside. So in terms of like the actual chart, the candles, the supports and resistances, the inverse head and shoulders, J&J does look good. The only thing it doesn't have is divergence. So it looks good for sure. Looks pretty good. You know, the resistances would be 154 in this green neckline. If it broke that, you're probably headed for a new all-time high. If you break out of this inverse head and shoulders, this green line right here, probably going to see a new all-time high. You're probably going to break 154 with a high probability. So we'll see if it can do it. I'm actually going to keep it on my watch list. If it does create some divergence, probably going to even make it a trade setup for the Twitter. A great request. We'll look over it. Thank you, Mr. Ryan, for the request. J&J looking pretty strong if it can hold 143. And then I was going to look at Bitcoin for a little bit. Yeah, I mean, really not that bad. It's still in this area. I have an alert if it does cross 19,333. Hasn't done that yet, so if it does, we will know if Bitcoin is truly pulling back. But crap. So I actually own this crypto, and it was looking good, but it broke out to the downside with confirmation. So actually gonna sell that real quick, so just give me a second here. Yeah, I don't know, probably gonna re-enter it, but for right now I'm kind of on the fence about it. So let's see. All right, just gonna stop myself out of that. We'll see, maybe that was a bad decision. Can't look at it for too long because I'm streaming, but I'll look back at it after stream. Yeah, I don't know, just kind of on the fence about that one. Yeah guys, make sure to hit that like button. Still got 40 people in here. Really appreciate all the support. Kern, I'll look at it for 1 second. It's just in a downsloping channel and it's by the resistance line. Broke out of the channel today. Kern technically broke out of the channel. Let me go to the daily. Yeah, Kern broke out today with confirmation. So good stuff on Kern. Probably will post this on Twitter. Next resistance would be like the 200-day moving average. You also have a high around that level. So yeah, I mean, I know that's a crazy target, but look how crazy this downtrend was. Then if we use Fibonacci from the high to the low, 618, not much resistance there, 0.50, definitely some resistance right there. So broke broke out of the channel. No divergence, unfortunately. That would have really put the icing on the top, you know what I'm saying? No divergence, but you broke out of this downsloping channel. You're creating a double bottom like structure. Obviously, it's a pretty weird chart, if I'm being honest. But current, we're going to add it to the watch list. Might put it out on Twitter depending on what it does in the morning. Great request. Definitely going to be keeping an eye on it. So yeah, J&J and current, very good requests. Those are the types of requests I want to be seeing. Very tactical. I like what they're doing. Good stuff for the people who requested that. Miss Goodrich, good stuff. Good breakout. Nice. Very nice on current. Gonna even put a support level because why not? So current, make sure I save that. I like what it did today for sure. I mean, it did go up 10%, but you have to remember, it just fell, 80% in a matter of a few months. So I'm gonna do some due diligence on current, keep on monitoring it, and we'll see what happens with it. And then OPES, we went over it last night. It's the BurgerFi SPAC. So we had like a 20-minute conversation on this last night where I talked about the breakout. Pretty much just went sideways today again. Again, it broke out of 1156 and it broke out of this downsloping supply line. So your new support is 1156 and your resistances are 1349 and 1505. Honestly, in terms of like what I'm going to be doing with this one is, I did miss the buy on it at 1058. So if it does come back down to retest $11.56 and it has like divergence, then that is when I would enter it. I just don't want to compromise. If I miss out on this trade, I miss out. I just want to always have a good reward to risk ratio. I don't want to be buying something only right after it went up, over 10%. So if we do get a pullback to like 1156, that is where I would personally go long on OPS. So we'll see if it does get that dip. I'll monitor it. So I'm going to also add that to the watch list. So in terms of what we've gone over tonight, the big ones that stand out to me are Johnson & Johnson, Kern, and OPES. For sure. Definitely was the other few ones. But yeah, I think it was great. We got some crazy donations, 62 likes on the stream. Thank you guys for all the support. 37 viewers still. Insane. 343 playbacks. Awesome. Really appreciate everything you guys have been doing for me in terms of support and just, spreading the word. So I think that'll do it. Bitcoin is pulling back a bit, but really not that much. It's actually back up now, so it's completely fine. Futures are crushing it right now. Futures are running right now, almost up 1%. So I think that's going to do it for tonight. And yeah, thank you guys so much for all of the support. I hope you guys all have a great night. Trade safely tomorrow. I will see you in the morning on Twitter. We'll be posting as soon as the market opens. And I'll see you live tomorrow night at 9:45 EST. Peace out. Till next time. Have a good one.